Good evening. Minnehaha County prosecutors are venturing into uncharted waters by trying a murder case in which the suspect is a woman.
State's Attorney Dave Nelson has announced that he'll seek the death penalty against Daphne Wright if she's convicted in the February killing of Darlene Vandergiesen. If that happens, Wright would be the first woman to ever sit on South Dakota's death row. Perry Groten finds out how the case might be played out before a jury.
Well, Doug, death penalty cases involving women are rare not just in South Dakota but across the country. Right now, only 55 women nationwide are on death row. That accounts for less than 2% of the total death row population. Now, despite that relative scarcity of cases, one former prosecutor thinks a woman can get a fair hearing in a South Dakota death penalty trial.
Former Lincoln County State's Attorney Scott Abdallah successfully prosecuted the death penalty retrial of Donald Moeller in 1996. Moeller, who killed 9-year-old Becky O'Connell, is just one of 3 convicted murderers, all of them men, who were sentenced to die by a South Dakota jury. Abdallah thinks a death penalty jury wouldn't be influenced one way or another if the defendant is a woman.
I'm a little partial towards South Dakota jurors, but I just think that here in the Midwest, our jurors are just more balanced and more reasonable than you find when you start getting out on the East Coast and the West Coast.
Abdallah says any issues over Daphne Wright's sex would be weeded out during the jury selection process.
You'll be able to exclude jurors that may tell you, listen, because the defendant is a woman, I might be less inclined to impose the death penalty.
Abdallah says prosecutors must also look beyond the unique nature of this trial and stick to the facts in the case.
You've got to have that in the back of your mind, that there may be some special considerations, but for the most part, I don't think the prosecution changes the way in which they present the case.
Abdallah says it's possible defense lawyers might play the gender card in order to gain sympathy for their client.
It depends on the circumstances, it depends on the jury, it depends on what the prosecutor has done throughout the case. All of that is pretty variable.
Now, Abdallah also doesn't think the gender makeup of the jury will matter in the final verdict. He doubts that lawyers will try to pack the jury box with either a majority of men or of women.